we believe we've found a new ore body at the Blanket mine, which is our existing producing mine. I mean, it's as simple as that, basically.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Caledonia Mining CEO Mark Learmonth. Mark, very good to speak with you again. What are the key takeaways investors should take from these drilling results?
Well, put quite simply, it means that we believe we've found a new ore body at the Blanket mine, which is our existing producing mine. I mean, it's as simple as that, basically.
So one of these results particularly exciting for Caledonia?
Well, it's important because what we think we've found is we were looking initially for oxide material, relatively shallow oxide material that could be turned to account quite quickly. And that's still the case. But in addition, the oxide material that we found appears to continue into a larger, deeper sulfide resource, which is typically what we mine already at Blanket. And that would be in addition to the existing half a dozen or so existing ore bodies that Blanket's been exploiting for about 120 years. So the oxides are nice for short term, but the potential for the sulfides again underpins the long-term nature of the Blanket mine.
So could this become a new source of production for Blanket, Mark?
Oh yeah, in the short term it would be relatively quick oxide production through a heap leaching process, and then the sulfides, clearly there's more work to do on the sulfide ore body because it goes a lot deeper. But yes, it could be quite substantial. Yeah.
I mean, the program's identified what you believe may be a previously unrecognized ore body. How significant could that be?
Well, the oxides may be relatively small in ounces, because let's face it, Blanket produces what, sort of 80-odd thousand ounces, 75 to 80,000 ounces a year. So in that context, the oxides is unlikely to be substantial in that context. But oxide mining is typically much cheaper because it's clearly much shallower. You're not having to hoist this material from 4,000 feet below surface. And so typically it tends to be much higher margin. And then clearly it goes some way towards allowing us to spread our fixed costs over more ounces. So the economic effect may well outweigh the actual ounces effect if I've explained that correctly.
You've already commenced metallurgical test work. What are you looking for, and when can investors expect results?
Yeah, so what we're doing at the moment is we're doing what's called column testing. So we're putting the oxide material basically in a sort of a lab basis to see to what extent cyanidation releases the gold. That's been running for about a week or so now. We're getting very positive results. What we'll do is we will, assuming that process is successful, as we indicated in the RNS, we would then intend to proceed towards a trial heap leach with a sort of a sample of 10,000 tons of material. So we'd intend to move on to that pretty quickly, and that whole exercise should be completed well before the end of the year. And obviously we'll update the market as we go through, because clearly we have an ongoing obligation to disclose price sensitive information. So it will be, the disclosures will be as and when we feel we've got something that is sufficiently price sensitive to warrant disclosure.
Mark, does this discovery change the way you view the exploration potential of Blanket?
To some extent, yes. I mean, Blanket, let's face it, Blanket's 120 years old, and over that 120 years, successive operators have simply chased down the ore bodies that they've been exploiting, and that's been very much the theme. So you're just chasing the same stuff deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's been relatively little attention given to where they've come from, just to sort of pause and think, well, maybe did we get everything from these shallow areas? We have reopened that sort of exploration over the past few years. So it doesn't come as a great surprise to us that we've found something new. It actually just confirms our long-standing belief that Zimbabwe is highly prospective, and that Blanket, even though it's been running for 120 years, does have significant exploration upside potential. So it confirms, I'm afraid, what we already felt in our water, but now we can prove it.
Mark, I hope you'll keep us updated with progress on that. Thank you very much for your time today.
Good, thank you.
Mark Learmonth, the CEO of Caledonia Mining.